This video is going to complement an article I wrote not so long ago about how to configure Cisco's Firepower, or more recently renamed to Cisco Secure Firewall, SNMP, using Firepower Device Manager. So for those that have not seen the article that I've wrote, this video will complement that. This is kind of one of those videos that I did earlier. The configuration of SNMP is slightly different to configuring it for FTD devices when you're using the FMC. You have to create FlexConfig to do that. So we'll just run through the steps to actually get everything in place and configured. So first of all, what we want to do is want to go across to objects, and then what we want to do is want to go down to secret keys. And by the way, this demo device that I'm using here is using 6.6.3 version. When on secret keys, what we need to do is create a new secret key, and this is going to be used for our V2 community. So we just give it a name, description and password, and confirm the password. And this is what it looks like and on the one that I've already done. What we then need to do is also create an object for our SNMP server host. So what we do is we go to network, add, and then you can add the SNMP host in here. So you can either do a range if you've got a range of SNMP targets. So if you've just got a single host, then you can just put the host IP address in there. Once the objects are done, we then need to go to FlexConfig. So if we just go back to the device and down to advanced configuration, which includes the FlexConfig, we just click view configuration, and then what we need to do is we go to FlexConfig objects, and what we do here is we create a new object, give the FlexConfig a name, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add our variables into the template. So if we take a look at the one that I've done earlier, so what I've done is I'll give it a name, so SNMP Community version 2, and then what we're doing here is taking the name from the value, and that's the secret of the object that we put in as a variable, and then likewise it's also taking the object for the network and putting that in as the SNMP server. So what you do there is you just essentially give it a name, so SNMP say, and then we would do, in our case, we select secret for the first one, and then we select the object that we created, and then likewise with the network, we then select the network that we created as well, and that's when you end up with these two results here. So in the template, and you can copy this information within our template here. That's on my article. I will put the link to the article in this video description below. So if you want to just copy and paste this from there, then you can. But essentially what we're doing is we are using the usual, for those that are quite familiar with the ASA or Lena side of the code, we're using this in the FlexConfig. So what we do is we specify the config as well as the values, so these values up here that we're specifying, and we also put in the config to negate or remove the configuration. And we do that because when the configuration's pushed from the device manager, what it does is it removes and reapplies the config. So to avoid any issues, do make sure that you put in the no statements as well to remove that. And essentially that is it. So what you do then is we go to FlexConfig, and then we add the object, the FlexConfig object that we just created in this step. So you can see SNMP community version 2, and then we just add this in here. As you can see, it's already added, and if you click on it you can also get the same information up that we add on the object. And what it'll do is it'll give you a preview here of what the config's going to look like. So what it does is essentially removes the variables from the config, and it gives you the output that you're going to expect to see on the device. So as you can see, our community is secret, so you can see that's our password there. We can see that the host has been specified, so that's this value here, and then the rest of the information is just static apart from the community again. So once you're happy with that, once you've added that into the group list, go ahead and save that as well. And by the way, keep saving all the steps where we create the configuration. Again, this is covered in the article. The video is just a kind of visual representation. Go ahead and save that, and then you can go ahead and deploy the configuration. And once that's deployed, you can then expect to see, or you should be able to poll the FTD device.